Hey everybody, Rusty here at Rusty Vintage Cards. I have a fun one to share today. I'm going to do a little bit of a tour of my room. I've been talking about getting this thing set up over the last few months. So this video is a few months in the making. It's a work in progress view of it. So a lot of blank spaces on the walls that I still need to fill. But I wanted to show you my progress so far. That starts with these awesome new pictures behind me that are also card displays. So stick around, I'll talk more about these. These are custom displays done by Chris from Missouri. He did an awesome job. I'm thrilled to have these things on my wall. So I'll talk a lot more about those. I'll do a quick tour of the room, show you guys some of the stuff that I've added over the last few months. Again, work in progress. But my room is a combination of sports and music. So since this is a channel focused on vintage baseball cards, I won't spend a lot of time on the music side of it, but I'll show you some of that stuff as well. So I'll turn this camera around and let's take a quick tour. I'll start with these Beatles magazines. You may have seen these in the background of my recent videos. These are all from 1964, so this was during the big Beatlemania that was happening whenever they toured the US. These are pretty cool. It's No Fad Dad, Bugs About Beatles. That's probably my favorite. That's another great shot of them. This is my display cabinet that you may have also seen in the background of some of my videos. It's something I may upgrade at one point, but it's something that we already had whenever we moved, so I made use of it. You see some drums, some djembes on the side. I am a drum collector. There's a look inside. Got just a mix, anywhere from oversized pre-war to team sets. Got an advertisement there in the back with musial and mantle and bench. There's more randomness. Got some Star Wars cards and Mickey Mantle, Joplin Holiday Inn matchbook. And this is stuff that I can swap out whenever I feel like it. More oversized stuff. That's a drumstick from a Beach Boys concert. More oversized stuff. Cassette tape. Top. We have more oversized, and I recently did a video on this printed out 1971 Topps Reggie. And then you've also probably seen this. That is just a reprint of a Hassan Cigarettes ad. On this wall we have a representation of classic rock. You've got Jethro Tull, we have Led Zeppelin, we have Black Sabbath, we have Eric Clapton. These are all vinyl records. I'm not a huge vinyl record collector because I haven't allowed myself to fall down that rabbit hole, because I think it would be a deep one for me if I ever did. But I do have a handful of records that I display here on the wall. And then we've got my autographed Bo Jackson poster. Awesome shot of him, awesome autograph. And then over here, I'm working on this. I'm gonna build up some stuff around it. I have a display of Tulsa Oilers memorabilia. This is a minor league team that I've talked about here locally. Talked about them a few times. Got some news clippings of Dizzy Dean and Pepper Martin's in there. We've got Warren Spahn whenever he was a manager. This is a press photo that I recently picked up. And I'll add some others to fill up this blank space around there. Just some of the other major league players and stars that have been a part of the Tulsa Oilers. You have Ken Boyer, Satchel Paige, Keith Hernandez, Ted Simmons, Frank Robinson, and that's just to name some of the big ones. On the opposite wall, of course, you have to have a TV so I can watch YouTube videos or sports or whatever I want to watch. And then we have a collection of hand drums that I have acquired over the years. All right, here is the front of one of my new displays. We've got Willie Stargell and Johnny Bench. Awesome action shot at the plate. So what's so special about this image? Both of these guys were born in Oklahoma, so I thought this was a fitting shot for the card room. Kind of a shot around it so you can see that front panel. And here's the front of the other display. And of course we have Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio. Such a great shot. You have a young Mickey, you have Joe DiMaggio that was toward the end of his career. So you have the the hero, and then you have the up-and-comer and the smirk on Mickey's face. Of course, Mickey is another Oklahoma guy, so that was a big reason for adding this to the room. And just the details on this. It's such a cool snapshot of 1951. Mickey Mantle clearly bit his fingernails. Of course, he was just a kid at that time, but love that image. And here's a look inside the display. So on this left side, we have mostly pre-war and getting up into the early 50s. You can see here at the top, we have some pegs that keep the front cover on, and then we have magnets around the side that also, on all four sides, that also keep that cover in place. When I back up, this is what I see when those covers are off. On the right, we have mostly 50s and getting into the 60s, and I'll probably swap these out every now and then. And I do intend to add a little bit more in between and on the sides. So again, this is a work in progress, guys, but this is what I have so far, and I am pumped to have these on the wall. So I mentioned these displays were custom built by Chris from Missouri, so I'll talk about that process and the reason for the custom displays a little bit. I had some ideas for my room. I wasn't quite sure how to make it happen. I knew Chris was doing some custom displays, so I reached out to him. You know, we still have young kids running around the house. I like the idea of my cards not being out and visible all the time. Never know who's going to be in the house. I also like the idea of being able to have them concealed completely from light, protected, if you want to call it that. So it's really, with those covers on, it's really no different from putting them in a box and sticking them in the closet. Even though I do have a blackout curtain in my room, if that curtain happened to be open, my cards are 100% protected by the light if I put those covers on. And the last thing is, if someone were to walk into my room with those covers on, it really looks no different from any other framed artwork I have in my room. So someone may not know that cards are behind those covers. So not 100% theft proof by any means, theft proof, but they are concealed. They're hidden, they're out of sight. So I talked with Chris and mentioned the cover idea, some type of a cover. He came up with this design. It is perfect for what I wanted. So whenever I want to display the cards, I take the covers off. Whenever I leave the room or want to cover them back up, I put them back on. It's held on by pegs, as I showed you, magnets. So those just slide on and they're in place. It's kind of two versions of my room. You know, whenever I have these pictures on, I walk in, I love how they look, and whenever those covers are off, I get to see all my cards. So kind of best of both worlds. But again, words can't express how pumped I am to have these things on my wall and to have these additions to my room. So if you have any display needs, reach out to Chris. He did a great job for me. I really can't recommend him highly enough for doing this type of thing. So reach out to him. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.